Hello, and welcome to Vegan Steven Create Now. I normally teach, guitar, singing, other things on this channel, but I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things of all time right now, and that is record production. It's been one of my favorite things since, as far as I can remember, since I was a wee pup. I decided I wanted to be a record producer when I was 15 or something, so I know one or two things about it. Some people who would recommend looking into, if you're into this kind of stuff, because I didn't really understand what a record producer does. Because it seems like these days, I'm trying to quote people, it seems like these days everyone calls themselves a record producer, so I don't know. The thing that people seem to get wrong in record producing is clear image. They just show up and they're like, right, we'll just see what happens, which is fine, but if you want to be shit hot, you gotta do a thing called reverse engineering. Now this sounds quite gross and so on, but the older I get, the more I'm coming to the theory. It's not proven that creativity is an illusion and other things like that. So but we'll just stick to the basics right now. So people want to make a record, and one of the things you're making a product like an apple or you don't have a taste of an apple and then one day it becomes a fucking orange, or you don't have a taste of an apple and one day it's a grape. It's always an apple. No matter where you go in the world, you go for an apple, it's an apple. It's not made of meat one day or something. So the thing that people do when they're making a record, which is a collection of songs, is they tend to just try to jam everything they can in. They're just like, oh, slam this in here. I did this thing when I was fucking 16, I'll jam that in there. And I was thinking about this thing today, I'll just slam that in there. That's just a fucking mess of fucking shit and piss. So you need a clear image, an umbrella. What are you doing? I'll just say for an example, we'll do an example right now. And what we'll do the example of is, let's see, a Get Fit record. Or, let's say, for example, we're having, we want to make a CD that people can make love to. So what are we selling? Sex. Grand. So we're selling sex. Brilliant. So it's ideally, what you would do in this case is you would you gotta have sex noises in it. You gotta have things that bring sex into the mind. You wouldn't just have one song that would be like someone crying. You wouldn't have a song about fucking murder or anything unless it's specifically tied under this umbrella term of fucking making babies. So if you're really, really good, you would have the music video and work backwards. So you'd be like, right, what kind of am I going for? Are we going to make love right now? Or are we going to... And it's just like, oh yeah. banging, banging, banging. Or are you going to really ease your way in and set the mood. So you'd be probably like, right, gonna set the mood. So I'm just saying is consistency of product. Ideally, create your music video first and work backwards off that, which sounds fucking... Yeah. So people need a clear image. What are they doing? Right, they're trying to make an album that will... people will make babies to, or whatever. So ideally, you would go and study every sexy album ever and come up with a specific sound for making babies. So you're probably gonna need a consistent drum beat. You don't want to be stopping and starting. So it just everything has to. It just once you know exactly what you're doing, gets rid of all the fucking crap. So you're like, right, baby making music. What do we need? We need fucking something going all the time at more or less the same tempo, and it'll be at a certain tempo for making babies. So I'm gonna type in here best tempo to have sex to. Alright, so some lads specialise in this. So ideally what you would, how to make it, oh Jesus. 40 best songs to have sex to. Alright. Fast or slow, which is best? Alright. So let's have a little look at some songs here. So we're going to use these as an influence. So this is called mirroring. And what you do is you look at similar products that are like what you are, that are where you want to be, and you do it so on. So there's two main ways to do this if you're looking for a male voice, alright? You can have some things which they have are, they use sex noises in the production. So like heavy breathing, like they got to have a consistent bump 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 beat. So we probably want some low fucking, where's this fucking, we probably want some, sure, find out, excuse me. Alright, we're still going. Right, have we got this? Is this working? Right, it's not telling us anything about sex, unfortunately. Is it going to tell us what songs? No, I can't figure out how to work the internet. Okay. So, you probably want the start of the record to start off slow. If you reference any Barry White records, he's like, oh, baby. You wouldn't have something like, oh shit, get in the car, fucking we gotta go. Something that's gonna stress you out. It's gotta be consistent. Boom, boom. Or, yeah, just consistency. Everything has to flow under it. You wouldn't have any panicked voices. You wouldn't have any mention of things which would stress someone out, like fucking paying taxes, someone giving out about the weather. You don't want that while you're fucking trying to make babies. So you'd have to have some lyrical content. You'd have stuff like care about you so much. Fucking, what else people like to hear? You look great. So positive stuff. Sort of locking with positivity. Grand. Things that are romantic, I guess. Fucking string sections. Low voices. Oh yeah. Then there's that male upper falsetto. So I guess you need to figure out clear orchestration for your project. Alright. So what do you need for making a song? You need drums, you need bass, and you need some mid-range to doing some chord shit, and you need a voice. So it's that 4 grand. That's all you need. So for the drums, I think we would need a drum machine, because that's very consistent. Grand. Might want some guitar for the guitar or keyboard for the mid-range. Bass. So for the bass you'd be like, it's all the same fucking thing, do you know what I mean? It doesn't, if you listen to all African tribal drums, it just keeps you going. It's like AC/DC keeps you going. Now if I was doing like a folk record, that could be fucking different, wouldn't it? But alright. I don't know. Sexy things to have in music. So a thing which some people do to they use a higher vocal range to show the vulnerability and emotional intelligence of the male. So you heard there, I was like, so that's just getting intimate, getting intimate, singing in your ear. Very intimate sounds, breathing, very breathy sounds. A lot of the modern singers are very breathy, because a lot more intimate and sexual. It's a bit more like ASMR, if any of you guys ever heard of that. Certain chords need to be used as well. Like these. 5 things you must do. I'm trying to look up some of the sexiest songs here. Record production. So some 808 drum machine. That's one of the classic drum machines. That would go a little something like this. Where's the drum? That's more dirty grind. Oh, I'm gonna give it to you, babe. Oh, so hard. So that's a bit more fucking. That's a bit more full on, isn't it? That's like we're fucking now. But that's way too. You gotta build up the relationship. You can't really just go straight into fucking. You gotta build it up. Yes, the lyrical content is very, very important. I'm gonna say study Barry White. There's some artists that just Barry White's Secret. Oh Jesus. A lot of his songs was about singing like how important the woman was to him and how just fucking loving, caring man. He didn't one day just come out and say I want to fucking strangle you or something. It was always so consistent image. If you look at a lot of music videos today, they're incredibly like sexualized. They got a lot of cleavage, a lot of sexualized cars and all this stuff. And even if it's not up front, it's kind of like the Jonas Brothers is very sexualized. They do a lot of crotch thrusting, but they have the the purity rings, so they kind of it cancels out the full on sexness, I guess, when you have Christian purity rings. I don't know. Right, the Guardian. So I'm trying to find something about this on the Guardian. I can't. No help whatsoever. So yeah, tempo. What speed are we going at? You gotta find the speed. You gotta get that consistent drum beat. I've been thinking about you all day. Same again. I've been thinking about you and the way you make me feel. The way you make me There's a lot of tension there. I'm thinking about making love. Would you like a go of my velvet glove? It's very sexualized lyrics there. Just making this up on the spot or whatever. But, lots of innuendos in the lyrics. A lot of repetition. Very, very, very repetitive. Same tempo. No messing around. It just has to be the same. It has to be the same the whole way through. Fatboy Slim, all the songs are 128 BPM. Because you don't... When you're making an album for someone to have sex to, right? You don't want... They need to be able to go at the same speed and same tempo. You can't have them suddenly speeding up, some slowing down. Then for one it's just a fucking talking track and there's no fucking music at the left fucking to do anything. It's to guide the person through the baby making act or whatever. So it just has to be very clean, consistent product. What does it need to do? It needs to... Often the lovers can't communicate how much they fucking like each other, so they just be like, alright, you're that song, that's how I feel about you. Yeah? Fucking setting the mood. Yeah. So it just, here's an example of something you would not do. Alright, you just be like, oh, I'm thinking about making love to you, or whatever. So you wouldn't say something like, oh, and then I'm gonna rob all your money. Or then you wouldn't say something like, oh, I hate your mother, or something like that. So everything is clear, cohesive, on the same track. So then you're thinking, right, what's the music video going to be like? You got something like... dark stuff is... You follow that on to the video. If your song's sexualized, then you'd have, like, I don't know, fucking close-ups of people's bodies sweating or something. I don't know. Fucking people in the sauna, I don't fucking know. But you just have it all very, very consistent. Because people just don't do stuff consistently. So when you have the drums, you gotta make sure that the next thing sinks in with that. And then the fucking I've been thinking about you all day. Yeah. So sexualized lyrics, sexualized music video. The next track, I said you can't be into, oh, I want to hate your mother or something. No, it's a sex album. Everything has to be the fucking same. The next music video comes out, has to be a sex video. The next video comes out. Now I know what you're thinking. This is just an example. Alright? I find just people, they do a fucking sex fucking song, but then they bring out a comedy music video. It doesn't fucking line up. People are confused. They're like, am I here for fucking sex or am I here for comedy? What the fuck's going on? Just gotta keep it fucking very simple. Because people, there's so much out there. It's gotta pick one of the things. And music kind of has to serve a purpose. Like, what is the music doing? Is it there? You normally have to apply it to the 7 deadly sins, like lust and so on. Just pick one of those and make an album around it. Yeah, just I'm sure you know yourself. You buy a fucking song. You're like, this artist is bloody brilliant. Love him. He makes a song about sex. Brilliant. Love doing that with the girlfriend or whatever. Forever. I'm gonna buy the album. You buy the album and it's a fucking weird, depressing country album. And the only song on it that you like is the single. And that's because they didn't have a clear, cohesive fucking image. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So when you buy a fucking song, a Sweat Hottie Sex single, you expect the whole album to be Sweat Hot Sex album. The two main types of sex songs are, oh come on baby, like let's get in the mood, I really like you. And then the other one is we're actually having sex. So it's like, oh, I like when you're on top of me, fucking grinding, whatever you be doing. Yeah. Alright. That's it. So this particular one would be more like very full on. Oh, we only take breaks to have food, and then we're back at it again cause we're in the mood. Alright. But all the lyrics fucking are dead on in the fucking thing, alright? Clear, consistent, they all ratchet under the fucking head. So, the next song has to be the same fucking thing. You don't bring out... Next song isn't fucking country comedy, it's fucking sex as well. If you want to make a country album, make a fucking country album, that's fine. But do it over there. This is a sex album. If you want to make a country sex album, that's fine, but every single song has to be country sex. So... I'm sick of riding chickens, I wanna get up on you, my love. Oh, making love. Or whatever, I don't flipping know. Clear image, music video has to line up. Now, a lot of lads are like, right, I'm making the music video, I made the sexy song, I made the sexy music video, but then they don't have the right wardrobe. And their acting isn't sexy. Their acting is fucking real. Fucking, oh, don't look at me, I'm really insecure and shit. You're mid-sex act here. You gotta be fucking... Clear, consistent image on everything. Because the woman would be looking at it going, oh, I like the sound of that lad. But then she looks at the picture of you and you're just fucking... You can't even look at the camera, you're so shy or whatever. So it's got to be all... If the music's fucking... If you want to be an insecure fucker and make a country album, that's fine. But you got to be consistent. Because... I know it sounds really silly and all the rest of it, but people don't want like a fucking... Consistency. People will just love it. If you're consistent, they'll just love it. They'll be like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? They'll be like, that's the sex guy. That's the guy who makes the sex albums. Or whatever. You insert topic here. Alright? So, orchestration can be important. You'd need to have the same singer. Same vocal style for all the songs, ideally. The same drum sound for all the songs. The same guitar player and all the rest of it. So, consistent product. There you are. Just when you when you go to the shop and eat a Mars bar, it isn't a fucking apple one day. It's always a fucking Mars bar, and that's what you're creating a product here when you're creating an album. It's not. If it's a vanity project and you don't care if it sells, that's fine. It won't sell. But if you want it to be a fucking product. Clear. A lot of people like fucking 50 Cent talk about this. Like they want a clear and Prince. They have a lot of songs, but they want to make a clear, cohesive album with clear, aligned goals and all the rest of it. Sure, they might have a one class song where they're making fun of the president or something, but that would be a terrible business idea, and it doesn't line up with their sex image or whatever the fuck it is. So the clothes, the video, the music, all has to latch up, because if you have one that isn't lining up, it's going to look untruthful and it'll seem out of place. It'd be like watching a big actor and they're really fucking shy and they start crying all the time. You're like, well, I thought you were a big famous superhero, why you fucking, what the fuck's going on? It doesn't line up. And it can be interesting at times to play with it, but just in general, dress sexy music video, sexy music, if you're looking for the sex thing. And then it's not just sex, it's what part of sex. Is it fucking an album about being transgender? That could be to do with sex. But no, for this specific idea that I'm talking about, it's the actual act of coitus, making babies itself. Specifically. That's the actual mood. When you listen to this album, you listen to it during the fucking sex. Prince and Kanye and other people, sometimes they have an album that's just made for a party, and they'll just make it just for a party. And that's what it is. Party music. Clear, consistent product. people will often have. It's just all they'll have a love. It's like a sex jam or something, but then they'll start rapping on top of it about how much they hate women or something, and it's like, oh my god. It doesn't line up, and as I said, it's all fine, but it just. These are the lads who have one-hit wonders. Because once they have a one-hit wonder with the song, they don't know how to make a full album of that song, because it was like they don't know what they're doing or whatever. Anyway, these are possibly just opinions, record production. Other stuff which record producers have to do is like fucking figure out how they're fucking doing it and all the rest of it. Alright, so when you're making the album, talk about reverse engineering. So, what's the music video gonna be? What are you trying to achieve with the emotion? The feeling. It's the act of sex or whatever. So everything's lined up with that. You don't have a song about fucking what I'm going to do to you before sex or after or whatever. It's just the sex. Or whatever. I don't know. Just very clear. Very clear. I know I'm just repeating myself here, but just very fucking clear. You wouldn't have a fucking... Just gotta be very... very clear and consistent. A lot, like people would have like fucking real fast punk, and then they have fucking rap lyrics about something else, and then fucking no, just doesn't line up. I could go about this all day. I'm sure you know yourself. But some other stuff record producers have to do is. It all goes from the voice as well, in case you didn't know this. It's all, you just have the voice loud, everything, and maybe the drums. Nothing else matters. Sorry. Nothing else matters. It's just the vocal. So ideally, record the vocal first, because that's all that matters, and then everything else is just supporting the vocal. So you have your drums, which is your tempo, your vocal, and then if some parts need a bit more drums or something, you put it in. It needs a bit more energy, or put it out. But the vocal has to be up front, and the drums. Them drums. Everything else is fucking gravy. It could come or go. Doesn't matter. That's just fucking orchestration, so on. It's the human element, and you're conveying emotion. It's so easy to get confused and get distracted from what you're actually doing here. You're conveying emotion. You're trying to get people's body to move a certain way. For example, you'll delay the 3 to get this kind of whipping motion. On the snare, it's like this kind of, it's emotion used in sex or whatever, but you delay the 3 and it gets this kind of, call it the bop or something. It's the groove, that fucking groove. Because if you have a drum machine on it and you don't delay the 3, it's too sterile, and it's just like it adds a lot more emotion and so on. And drummers will naturally do this. They're fucking groovy fuckers. They'll delay that 3, and it really opens up the full fucking sound and groove, and it's fucking gorgeous. To be honest, I shouldn't really be telling you about the delaying the 3, because that's one of the biggest things that blew my mind. That and rim shots on the snare. Ooh, that sweet crack that cuts through the mix. That's one of my best secrets. So yeah, to summarise, this has been a clear, cohesive image for record production. Everything has to line up. You got to have the full picture. If you could make the music video first with the vocal, I know you can't, and then do the music after or something. I don't know, because people are so even in music, people are so visually. The music video is so important, which I know seems like a lot of bollocks, but it's just how it be, bye. All right, so that's it. So that was a little chat, and it's using the reverse engineering concept for the purposes of record production. Study people who've already done what you want. Copy and paste the best from them or whatever. And all that good stuff. Bye! Alright, all the best.